Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or coming back, happy Sunday everyone. I hope you had a great 9/9 portal. I did a little bit of a numerology breakdown and a tarot reading for the twins yesterday. I also created a short. If you don't want to go through the whole tarot thing, just be more mindful about the 9/9. We are still in the portal energy for a couple more days, so it's a great opportunity to set yourself up, especially as we're approaching new moon in Virgo on the 14th of September. We're also approaching end of Mercury retrograde that will kind of expand your energy outwards and encourage you to connect with other people, to reconnect maybe with some friends or people that you disconnected in the past for some reason, right? Or you'll just feel more of a longing to communicate or spend time with other people, especially if it's been a while. August has been generally a hermit month, I would say, and now we're getting back out there to have fun, to discuss, to negotiate, to exchange. What was this soul searching about? What we discovered. Okay, so let's see what we have today. I have two decks of tarot. I have my oracle deck with me, and I want to take a look at what is going on right now, what is happening in the karmic lives, and how the twins seeing each other at this time with all these energies happening, with new insights coming in, with new karmic struggles coming in, for us to learn those last bits and pieces of lessons before we move on to the new cycle. Okay, so let's get oracle cards for divine feminine first of all. And I decided I'll be taking the bottom card now as well. So what is going on in divine feminine world? Oh, gentle gardener. This is such a gentle card. It's gentle gardener and it's a gentle card. Bottom of the deck, spirit of place. Apologies for a bit of a vacuum noise. It's gonna disappear soon, I'm sure. So number 2 and number 4, that's another interesting aspect of it, right? So we're going in twos. You see, this is already telling us there's more about connection with another, even if it's with a place or with nature in general. Let me read about these cards because they're both so gorgeous. Gentle gardener. The gentle gardener is visiting you at this moment in your life to remind you that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create the reality you experience. She is the embodiment of the energy within you that is sent out into the field of co-creation and ensures that all that you are is reflected in the world of form. Are you aware of your thoughts? What is their quality? Believe in limitless possibility and you will see miracles unfold. The gentle gardener guarantees the integrity of everything you send out into the world. Stay positive and expect a wondrous return. Your garden is abundant with beauty. You see, this is the end of that hermit period, retrograde period, also end of a cycle. Yesterday we spoke a lot about number 9 and how we're almost at the end of a cycle, right? So that's that energy of like, this is for you to summarize where you are right now with your thoughts, with your goals, with your feelings. What have you learned? What did you confirm for yourself? Where did you change your opinion on something in life? Stay positive and expect a wondrous return. That's that manifestation piece of it. Let's see what we have for the spirit of place. I also love the fall leaves and fall foliage as we are in September now. And to be honest, in New York area, this is not going to happen for another month, at least. It's still pretty tropical. It's very summery, but generally speaking, that's the energy we're going into. And it's magical in its own way. So I'm really glad that it's emphasized in this card. Our ancient ancestors believed that every place has a spirit looking after it or embodying it. Just as we have a soul, the plants, trees, birds, mountains, and rivers have their own essences. When the spirit of place arrives in your reading, it says that the answer to your query is in the overarching theme of your circumstances. Is your question about the struggle? The answer is to relax and let go of your need to control the situation. If your inquiry relates to finding love, then embody love rather than long for it. Once you find the essential truth that underlies your question and then name it, you'll discover the answer you've been seeking. Your greatest power is your authenticity. So again, this is one of the big learnings I get for the collective from the Hermit period, from the retrograde period. Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Saturn, Jupiter, we have a number of those. But the big part of it is understanding who you are, what makes you happy, what does authentic even mean to you, you know? Because those are two big aspects of authenticity. Who I am and what kind of life I want to build for myself. And it's important to stay authentic in both. Another message is, of course, that pay attention to the spirit of place, to nature around you. And if you have a chance to connect, this is a really good time. If you're also seeking for some assistance, for some hint, for some sign, it's really good to connect to nature or to go to a place that has a special meaning to you. So even if you're not too deep into knowing how to work with the spirits of place or what that means, the history, the backstory, anything like that, of maybe even that specific place, as long as that place has special meaning to you, you can already work with that energy. That's good enough. You can, of course, visualize that you're working with the spirit of the place, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you're working with that energy and you're there and you can embrace, and that energy will connect with yours to create that partnership and to give you the information or the guidance or the clarity that you may be missing at this time. That's actually what I'm doing today as well. I just realized I've been called to go to a place that I haven't visited I haven't visited it this year, let's put it that way. Because I've been away for 5 months and then I was just busy with different things, but it is pretty special for me. It's pretty local, but it's not like next door, you know, so I have to travel there. So that's the place I'm visiting today. And I wasn't exactly sure why, but now I can see. Okay, for masculines, we have Ride the Wave. Beautiful, another beautiful card. I don't think I've ever gotten it here. The other one is Listening. This one I've gotten a few times. Listening is about opening up your heart chakra. Listening with your heart, not with your ears. Although the elephant does have pretty big ears, but it's like, it's more about not letting your brain and your learned perceptions to muddy the energy or like the information that's coming in. It's very important to stay very clear and unbiased in what it is that you're about to hear or what it is somebody's trying to convey to you. I am gonna read Ride the Wave though. Oops, just saw it. Right now, success is easy and effortless. Ooh, I like that. You see, we just saw so much healing happening for Divine Masculine and them embracing trust in themselves. And this is that's the reward basically on the outside world. You can be assured that you're entering a time when you can ride the wave of abundance. The tide has turned and you can put your surfing skills to the test. Everything that you know, all your talents, coupled with your hopes and dreams, will carry you forward. People and circumstances have come out of the ocean of potential and possibility to take shape in a wave of spectacular activity. Know that you're definitely on the right path. Beautiful, I love it. Okay, let's move on to tarot. Let's see what we have. So I'll get a card from each of the decks for general energy. Then we'll see what's going on in the karmic journey of each of the twins. And then I'll get a card for the feelings towards each other. Yeah. So 6 cards overall. bottom of the deck, the Empress energy. I love this. So potent for creating something new, manifesting new, for that inception even time, right? When you are dreaming big dreams, when you're putting together your vision boards, when you're clarifying for yourself, what do I want to do next? You know, what is my next milestone? What do I want to achieve in the next cycle? Well, a lot of people ask questions of how long the cycle is, and that's a good question, and it can vary. Like, you can be living kind of like several cycles at a time. One of them could be like a few days long, one of them could be a month long, one of them could be a year long. And they all overlap. They're all different kinds of cycles, but you can be in several of them at a time. A lot of times we speak about a cycle within like a lunar month, because we talk about these lunation events, full moons, new moons, you know, and how the energy kind of like flows around between those. But it's up to you to really decide. And I would just say that still stand by my word that you are simultaneously living out several layers of cycles. But at various times, various layers will be in focus. So whatever feels relevant to you right now, whatever you feel comes to your attention, needs your attention, wherever you're guided to go, that's going to be your cycle. And for example, if the cycle is, I don't know, I have a project that is going to last a few weeks, right? Maybe that cycle is going to be a few weeks, right? Or maybe I have something that's going to be going on for 6 months. So maybe that cycle is 6 months, and I'm starting it right now, and I'm doing my vision boarding and manifestation for the entire 6 months. Why not? 6 months actually another good example, because that's also the, in terms of a lunar calendar, it's the time between the new moons or the full moons in the same sign. So for example, we're going to be having new moon in Virgo. Was it the new moon in Virgo? I'm like, yeah, between the full moon in the sign and the new moon in the sign. So it's like when we're looking at new moon in Virgo that we're gonna have this week on the 14th, it's also important to see what was happening 6 months back when we had full moon in Virgo, which was during Pisces season. Don't remember the date exactly, but that's like the opposites, right? And that's a cycle of its own. So it's important to see what was happening during that cycle, what was achieved, you know, what do you want to put out there to the new cycle, to the next full moon in Virgo that's going to be happening February or March next year. You know, that's another way to look at it. Anyway, let me get some clarifications. I picked the After Tarot for clarifications today. By the way, if you'd like to sponsor me with some new decks, if you'd like to see me use specific decks, you can definitely either pick something from my Amazon wishlist and buy it for me. I'll definitely be using it on the channel. That's what that list is for anyway. Or if that deck is not on the list, obviously you can still send it to me. Just get in touch by email, and we can agree about the, you know, the delivery address and the rest. I would really appreciate it. I do have a few decks, but you know, it's important to have something fresh from time to time. So 601's here, success. It's that success, that riding the wave that we were just talking about. That's beautiful. Okay, so the feminines have King of Swords and Nine of Pentacles in their energy. So this is like standing up in your own power, seeing how much you can accomplish in a masculine energy, still staying in the kind of like divine feminine vibe in that space, but embracing the masculine so that you can see, you know, like how we kind of fluctuate between the two. So this is the time, and it's important to be able to do both. If we fall too much into the feminine energy, we become disconnected to our masculine, and it's important to have that for the general harmony. We're supposed to embrace the two. It's also important, of course, to be able to build healthy relationships with other masculines. Another side to see it is it keeps us wholesome. So we don't feel like we need to get that masculine energy, that kind of support, that supply of masculine energy from somebody else. You know, we feel more complete and wholesome on our own. So this is that time when feminines are reminded. So that hermit mode was very much a feminine energy. That's the Virgo energy, right? It's like it's learning, it's feeling, it's processing emotions. It's definitely that kind of soul searching. The whole thing is very much a feminine energy. Now we're diving into more of a masculine vibe, where we're asked to be the kind of the head of our own household, to make important decisions for ourselves without waiting for the knight in shining armor to save the day, or to bring in extra finances, or to be strong and muscular and, you know, do something physical, right? This is like how we're gonna manage all of that by ourselves. Doesn't mean that we'll have to do everything ourselves, right? That's the trick, a little trick there. But it means that we have enough savvy, enough wit to be able to get it done by ourselves, you know, without having to wait for someone special to do that for us. We can get it done right now, no problem. So it's supposed to bring that extra layer of confidence and strength from a perspective of like, I am my own kind of structure, my own backbone, you know. I don't need somebody else to protect me from the troubles of the world, something along those lines. For masculines, we see Two of Wands and the Sun. I saw this card when I was shuffling, it's interesting. The Sun, we saw the Sun yesterday, twice, for masculine energy. So that energy continues to fuel them up, right? The energy of healing, the energy of seeing the brighter side of the story, you know, as opposed to recognizing lots of pain and suffering through like the growing pains, you know, all that, but recognizing how much of the beautiful energy it's been, how much of lightheartedness it brought into the picture. I actually even like these different colors in the Two of Wands. So it's almost like here I don't even see, especially with this gate, I don't even see the choice that we usually have in Two of Wands. It's like the choice has been made a long time ago. It's just that now it's become more illuminated. It looks so attractive. It's like, look at that. It's like disco lights over there. Like, yeah, let me in for that party. You know, something mysterious behind the gate, but also something cheerful, something fun, something that we look at it and we want to be part of it, you know. That's how the masculine's starting to see their life or what's in stock, because this is kind of like showing the future energy, you know. It's like, I'm not there just yet, but it's at the, you know, it's just a few feet away from me. All right, so enthusiasm and excitement, that's always good. Now, the second question was about what's going on in the karmic life. In feminine's life, we have Two of Swords, clarified by the Judgment. I like how she's like, she can actually see through the blindfold in this deck, in this card, right? So feminines are basically living out certain karmic scenarios where maybe some wrong choices have been made, or they're allowing for other people to kind of play out their part in it, even if it's not the happiest or the healthiest. But they see clearly what's going on. It's almost like they're waiting for things to play out, even if they don't think that it's going to be successful, or they know it's not there to stay. But this is like a next level of like observation and analysis, if you wish, with the downloads that they're getting about, you know, what's going on, what's this really about. This, I love how in the After Tarot, these guys are kind of like ascend to the tops. It's helping Divine Feminines ascend big time. And this could be little conversations. I don't know, maybe somebody borrows a piece of equipment from you for a week. Or, I don't know, you're going to a concert with a friend. Or you're making dinner as part of a charity event, right? Like, it doesn't have to be super spiritual, but something in those events is important for you to see, to notice. How do people take it in, right? Or what are the ways of the society in this case? Or how it can be a positive and a negative experience at the same time, based on how people perceive it, based on their personal history, their personal associations with the topic, including yours, by the way. You know, maybe for other people it's like just a mediocre experience, right? But maybe for you it triggers something from the past that immediately gets you into that energy. You're like, oh yeah. You know, sometimes we see people get agitated from very simple things. It's like, what's the big deal? Hey, you know, cool off. Like, this is nothing. Like, why are you so, you know, worked up over this? And then suddenly it happens to us and we're like, oh yes, now I get it. Because it can trigger something a lot bigger from the past. And that becomes a whole other story. And if we're not aware about that, if we don't understand what is happening, we just let those feelings come up to the surface, then it can blow up in our face. For masculines, we see 7 of coins clarified by 7 of wands, 2 sevens. Yeah, so this is like seeing, or like investment, longer term investment. That's what I see, the short term and the long term investment. But the sevens, I like the sevens because it's like going into the future, like seeing the bigger picture, you know. Or it can be diving into more of a depth, but I don't really see it with these cards exactly. But I definitely see that part of it, like this is 7 of wands in this deck. So this is like that next moment after we saw a figure on top of the hill with the wand, and then the next moment he jumps into the fight, you know, to defend what is important, to defend the long game, the long-term plan, right? And that's what the masculines are now seeing. Like, they don't just shoot for the next 3 months, for this season, for this year. They shoot for something that is more of a, I wouldn't say lifelong, but you know, it's longer. It's like planning for, you know, to have a home where I can start a family, or planning for, I don't know, buying something that we will need when we have kids, right? Something along those lines. Like, it's definitely wearing like big boy pants and thinking ahead of like, oh, okay, I have to think about so many other things now, apart from just building myself. Now I'm thinking for what my legacy is going to be, or what kind of environment I'm going to create, right? And this is, the 7 of wands is prompting at the environment with people, with places, right? This is like, okay, so I will have the finance or the property or the things to maybe build the things that I need, whatever it is, right? I'll get the material aspect of it. Coins can be anything, any resources, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna collect that, or I'm gonna invest wisely, that's fine. But when it comes to other people having their hands on it, or distracting me, or trying to talk me out of things, or impose their BS on my life, right? I don't want that. That's like, that can ruin everything. So this is like also like clearing space from people that could be disruptive, or they have different belief systems, different paths in their world, in their life, that may just rain on your parade, I'm hearing. Feelings towards each other, feminines towards masculines. We have 5 of swords clarified by 9 of pentacles. So more of the knightly energy. What can we see here? We see that there's definitely, that feminines notice progress, and at least they believe that there is progress. It's just they don't see it much. This is the clarifier. The Knight of Pentacles is in the background. And Knight of Pentacles is one that moves pretty slowly, that weighs each of their steps, that doesn't want the kind of fire to burn out quickly, right? So they can kind of feel the connection to a certain extent, but they understand there's not much happening. They trust that things are happening, inside the masculine. The swords are about thoughts, are about our belief systems. The 5 of swords is about seeing what is faulty, what is not serving us, what has been an illusion to what we believed in, right? And look at that sword, that huge sword that he's like pointing out. It's like, hey, you cannot fool me anymore. Like, I'm not gonna fall for this, right? So there is a lot going on behind the scenes. So there's not a lot of connectedness that is felt at this point, but feminines know deep down that their knight in shining armor is actually fighting their battles. And inner battles can be a lot of times much trickier and much scarier than the ones on the outside with other people. Masculines to feminines, we see Page of Coins clarified by Seven of Coins. Another Seven of Coins. So they understand that feminines actually have a long game in mind, right? That they don't just want a flame. They don't just want to live their life like this week, this month. They can live in the now, but they do want to start creating again for the long term. You know, a Page of Coins is like the one that maybe doesn't have much, but they have big plans, right? And they have the patience and the determination that it takes to learn, to grow, to expand in that matter, right? And this again can mean different kinds of resources. But I can see that the feminines have that shrewdness, have that strategy to plan for the long term, whether it's finance and their career, whether it's having a family, or, you know, the mission, the spiritual work that they do. Like, it's there for, they're not just wanting to get quick win right now, right? Whether it's emotional or in the physical, they want to play the long game here. And play is a kind of a figure of speech in this case, but you know what I mean. You know, they want this to last. They want to get to the bottom of things. They want to be able to build something solid. That's the coin energy, the pentacle energy. And they're up for it, because guess what? That's what they're doing. All right. So anyways, I think this is going to be it for today. I'm going to finish here, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Love you all.